Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Clark.
Good morning.
Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Jermaine.
Good morning, Bishop.
How's everybody this morning?
Blessed. How do you feel?
Let me get situated here.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Boy, talk about bad news. I was just looking the. Oh, that sandwich looks good.
Man,
What
yeah, I
is that?
swear, it's a place called The Local.
Is that like a
I'm-
cheesesteak?
Yeah. I was looking at it like I want to leave.
Cheddar,
and go there.
bacon.
Hey, man, don't leave and go there,
Man,
Doc.
that looks good.
Yeah, it did.
Oh man, that looked good. Anyway, so good morning, everybody. That's it again. Good morning.
2 for 2, Doc. You on
Two
the
for
road.
two. All
Yeah.
right. Let me Throwback Thursday. Thank you, Clark Kent, for this idea. Clark, based on what did I bring in last week? Parliament Funkadelic.
No,
Parliament.
was it yeah.
Parliament.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
week before, it was the Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson Push concert that they did in Kansas City in 1976. All right, so let's have some fun today. I don't know. First of all, let me ask the gentleman, have you seen Superfly?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen Shaft?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
All right, so it's Throwback Thursday. So I have two albums that I brought in, and both of these are the original print. I have Shaft, Isaac Hayes,
Yeah.
Academy Award winning.
Who is the man?
Yeah. Academy Award winning. I think, was it for Best Song? I think it was Best Song
Yeah.
Academy. For the thing from Shaft. And then Curtis Mayfield's Superfly.
Yes, sir.
All right. So y'all both seen it? Have you both listened to the soundtracks?
Well, not all of it, but yeah,
Which one did you listen to?
the Shaft soundtrack.
You haven't listened to Superfly?
No.
You listened to Superfly?
I mean, I listened to the song. I haven't listened to
So-
the actual like album, like all the songs that was on that.
So DJ Clark Kent,
Docket.
what when I say Superfly, the soundtrack, what songs just kind of stick out for you?
Diamond in the back.
No, they ain't on there.
They ain't know that. But
No, that's
stuff-
Just
when
Be
you
Thankful. That's a different
Yeah,
song.
that's just the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that just sticks out. You know, I mentioned
Okay, but
Superfly.
that
That
would-
was in
but-
the movie, wasn't it?
No,
That song, it didn't play.
no,
in the movie?
Diamond
I
in
thought
the
they
Back,
played that
some
in the movie.
rooftop, digging the scene with a gangster lean.
Yeah.
That's
So
just
you may not try.
yeah, that's just Be Thankful.
Yeah.
When I think of Superfly, that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. When
okay.
this Superfly, that's what comes to my mind. Diamond in the back.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Tell me, is Willie Hutch on there?
Now Willie Hutch did the Mac.
That's what's got me crossed up.
Yep. All right.
That's when Diamond in the back. But it's still
No. No. That just Be Thankful. That's a different group.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about the song. The one that on the album was about Diamond in the back.
No.
It's on rooftop,
It ain't on
digging
the
the scene with a
Superfly.
gangster lean. No, that's
On the soundtrack one.
No.
no. It wasn't even done by.
No.
Yeah. Now I don't know if
Okay.
Curtis Mayfield wrote the song.
No, I think what's the name wrote it.
Let's see. Pull it up,
What
man.
was that cat name?
Curtis performed it. I don't know if he wrote it.
Did he?
The white walls.
That was Superfly. Man.
Just
No,
Be
but I think
thankful.
somebody else performed that song, bro.
Be thankful.
Was that William Devine?
I think. Oh, what you got?
Yeah.
William Devon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll say yeah.
But
Curtis
they had
didn't do
on
that.
One of them soundtracks, though, right?
No. And here's the backstory. He put $900 of his own money to record the demo for Be Thankful for What You Got, initially titled A Cadillac Don't Come Easy.
Wow. I like that title.
The lyric, Diamond in the Back, Some Rooftop, refers to the diamond-shaped rear windows of the Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Hey, the
Be
top.
Thankful for What You Got was often mistakenly attributed to Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
The song was a major hit, reaching number 1 on the U.S. R&B charts and number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1974. Ludacris sampled Be Thankful on his track Diamond in the Back. Okay. All right. May not have. Yeah, it does, because it does sound like Curtis. Yeah, but no, William Devon. Okay. All right. So when I think of, and I did, always, Because don't we do this? Don't we go like we asked the question a couple of days ago? What was Michael Jackson's better musical album? And whether it was Off the Wall or Thriller. So I wanted to go in and say which was musically better, soundtrack of Shaft
I say Shaft.
or Curtis Mayfield's Superfly.
Now,
How can you pit those two artists against one?
yeah, that man,
It's just how it works, man.
man, Doc, you took it right out of my mouth because I was
That's how
about
it
to say both of those people are composers. Yeah, they are composers.
Uh-huh.
So when you have look at that sandwich, when you have Shaft, you know, seeing him create that album because they got footage of when he was in the studio, when he was directing the orchestra, and he was getting them right, and just when you listen to that song and how that song is structured musically, it's like, oh my God, man, you wrote a masterpiece.
You know, both of those give you, to me, is either a New York or a Chicago
Feel, yeah,
or like
yeah,
a Philly.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's just a feel I got.
yeah,
From those albums.
yeah.
Well, what also links these two movies? There's a link. These two movies.
Shaft and Superfly.
And
Slap.
Shaft and Superfly. How are they connected?
It ain't but that's Richard Roundtree there.
Yep.
He started that. So
Ron O'Neill.
What, they black, man? They
Well, they both considered classic black exploitation movies.
yeah.
Okay, but the common thread is that Gordon Parks directed Shaft. Gordon Parks Jr. directed
Oh, wow.
Superfly. Father Son. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. All right. So
So the Shaft movie was out before Superfly, or did it come out at the same time?
no,
I
they
think
came
Superfly
out
came out first,
71, and then I think Superfly came out 72.
right? Oh,
Wow.
All right. So it's Throwback Thursday. I just thought it was real interesting when we talk about For the Culture. And I was saying, well, when I was listening, because I've listened to both of them. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, my mom had this album. That was one of the few albums we had. But my mom had Shaft, and I listened to that over and over and over. Yeah, we had this one. Did I say we had a multitude of albums, or did I say that the few albums that we owned? Oh man, we had that
that real big joint.
that big component
Yeah,
set to play it on.
Yeah, they had the real big one with the 8-track in the.
Yeah, it did have an 8-track.
Yeah,
It sure did have an 8-track.
Yeah.
But we were so poor,
Say it again.
we couldn't afford the one with the TV in it.
Ah,
How many of y'all had the console with the TV?
in it, yeah.
That's when you that's when you was really middle class,
Yeah,
right?
They had the TV, and
Had
then,
the TV, the radio. And I'm trying to think, did we have AM or did we have both AM and FM on that radio? That was part of it. But we did have an 8-track. We did have an 8-track in there, but we didn't get the TV. And then when you go by most people's crib, and even though they had the TV, I don't know if it worked because then they had that little
They had
portable
something
TV on the top.
They had a TV on top of TV. They had a TV on top of TV that with hangers.
With the hanger,
With
With the hangers.
That's why they stopped making them. They claim because you have to basically you got to send the whole unit in.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a piece
So if
of
you
that's a
wanted to
piece
keep
of
your-
furniture.
Yeah, if you wanted to keep,
Right.
keep that piece of furniture, as you call it, or your radio, you got to be without radio, 8-track, everything to get the TV fixed.
Yeah. So they was like, forget it. Just go buy a whole nother TV.
And they used to have TV repair people. I just see one of the last ones I saw was over on Burleigh.
Emergency
TV service.
I need my
TV
TV
service.
fixed right away.
Right. But see now, because of the way the TVs are designed, it's like younger kids want to know what's all that stuff on the back of the TV.
Yeah, these things they make now are disposable.
Hey,
Yeah.
no. Check this out. My 75-inch just went out. My
Mhm.
LSD lights and TV just went out. I was in the middle of watching the game.
LSD.
Yeah, I think that's what he
LCD.
called it. Well, I mean, it was one of the L's.
LED, man.
No.
LCD,
No, he said.
LSD.
I think he
Or
said it was
LCD.
Yeah, LCD or something.
Because
Like one of the lights
LSD,
is drugs.
which was
Yeah.
really popular in 1971.
Well, one of them L's that ends with a D went out on my TV, and I called emergency TV service and told them I need my TV fixed right away, and they came and picked up. They picked it up and fixed it in a day.
What did they have to do to it?
They had to replace the LCD. No, but not the LSD, brother. That's drugs. We ain't doing drugs around here. They had
Sure about that?
they had to replace the LCD or whatever.
That Chap album sound really
Hey,
good.
Doc, I'm talking about every stream. No,
And
but,
speaking of LSD, and see, now I'm doing this whole mental diarrhea piece.
Orange Crush,
Speaking of LSD, what is the equivalent today of LSD?
nope, meth
Oh,
Nope.
to LSD. Now LSD is still considered angel dust, right?
No, LSD was an hallucinogen.
Yeah, it's still considered angel dust because that's what angel
No,
dust was.
Angel dust was something totally different. But what is it today?
What, heroin?
Nope.
It ain't weed.
No, what do young people like?
Pills?
I'm going to
lean.
is Lane Molly?
Look,
Is
pills.
Molly, and Molly ecstasy?
Yeah, pills.
So ecstasy is LSD light.
Yeah.
Because what LSD did was it heightened.
It heightened
Start
whatever
scratching
you-
the stuff, Keith.
It heightened
Keith,
whatever you was
Keith,
thinking about it.
You know, you start scratching the stuff. Here we go.
Willie.
I'm not
Don't
saying
start scratching.
But anybody got
that
some
I'm
orange
Josen right now.
He
Hey,
started
what did they
talking
call
about
it?
it. Started
What was
scratching.
it? What was it? Was it something sunshine?
No, it was Orange Crush.
Orange Crush, but there was something else too.
I'm walking on sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling
LSD.
You, yeah. And it
So
makes me
anyway,
feel good.
Now, I don't know if you listen to the soundtrack. What Isaac Hayes did was his was more instrumentals.
Yeah.
And so I think it was geared to traditionally how you did a soundtrack. You didn't have a lot of songs with words. A lot of them was instrumental. One of my favorites
filled with scores, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites was Cafe Reggio, obviously the thing from Shaft. And then, but here's a great song, Soulville. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's off the Shaft LP.
Is that more jazzy or what?
No, it's bluesy. No. Chick on the corner. You're gonna see to that. Ooh, I wish we could play music to hear that one, but Soulville is great.
So
It's a social commentary.
question. So is that song? I think it's called. Is it called Groove On? Is that on there?
I don't know. And I got to go back and listen to Do Your
Move on.
Thing.
Yeah, I think that's it. Hey, so you know what I'm talking about, Debo? So that song.
If you feel like you want to move.
Yeah, the move. Yeah, that's that song, right? Yeah.
Right on.
So what's the name of that
They
song?
did that in Soul Man.
Yeah. So is that off of the Shaft album?
No, but I think it was a song that Isaac Hayes wrote.
Right.
And who was his writing partner? David Porter? It was David Porter. They wrote some great stuff for Stax Music. So I'm going to put these up in the window. Throwback Thursday. I went in and I looked, and it said that when they went in and looked, it said key differences and comparisons. Musically, musical style. Superfly is heavily vocal driven with social commentary. Pusher Man, Freddie's Dead. Curtis Mayfield, when he was composing the soundtrack, said he wanted to have a counter narrative to this idea of a drug dealer, and so you get that. Where Shaft relies on instrumental and sweeping orchestrations. Superfly is often cited as the more cohesive album that surpassed its film in popularity. Shaft is credited with bringing a new cinematic funk sound to Hollywood and won an Oscar. Production both featured iconic wah-wah guitars, but Superfly had a tighter, more funk heavy, and gritty sound. Superfly is frequently praised for his lyrical depth and social consciousness, while Shaft is noted for his iconic, instantly recognizable title theme. Do 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 do. All right. Now now if people go in, and I don't know, for all your folks back in the day who went to see the movies, which was the better movie? Let me first start with Shaft. Gordon Parks Sr. was a photographer, and they talk about how he, and being from Harlem, how he was able to really capture the groove of Harlem and what Harlem felt like in 1971. You look at the iconic scenes. I didn't think Superfly was that great of a movie. I think this is one where the soundtrack is better than the movie. And the interesting thing is there's a guy here named Sig Shore. Sig Shore, and I'm going to pull it up just to be sure. Sig Shore also did the movie That's the Way of the World by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let me be absolutely sure. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think, because sometimes I try to get some of these stations to play Isaac Hayes, but they won't. I couldn't figure that out. I mean, because I heard some of Isaac Hayes' riffs in California. That Dr. Dre did on California through the supercalifragilistic espialidocious, and then you write on Soulville, and then you write he captured. I tell you where he captured the whole vibe was the Walk from Reggio, in which Chaff was walking down the street and he had that do 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 do, and he just I always loved that scene with that music because it to me it just fully captured people walking and handling their business. So I always loved that. I think it was the first one. It's one of the first drum beats. That top hat. They entered in. That was the first one I learned. Vic Pitts from Vic Pitts and the Cheaters taught me that, and I could do that riff on the hi hat, and so that was one of the first one I learned on how to do that. And so, but it was just amazing to me when those movies came out, because you're right, the Black Exploitation movies came and it changed our whole habit, because TV was TV, but all of a sudden now we could head to the movies and see things. And so I always enjoyed it. So
yeah, and Sig Shore did produce and direct Earth, Wind, and Fire's the soundtrack for, and appeared in the 1975 film That's the Way of the World. The backstory on that was that Maurice White knew this movie was going to bomb. It was an awful movie, and so there were some production issues, and so they released the soundtrack. So most people don't know that That's the Way of the World is a soundtrack. Most people don't know that. They thought it was just one of those studio albums, but no, they actually did the soundtrack. I think next week I think it's going to be Earth, Wind, and Fire next week, and so bring in some of their early albums. So what you think was a better soundtrack, Shaft or Superfly?
For me, Shaft.
Why?
I mean, Superfly had its own groove, but Shaft was the first for me, and it just captured. And I loved Isaac Hayes. I loved the way he could use orchestra. Him and Barry White could use orchestra and mix it in with all of the current forms of music with the guitars and all of those things. And so I always loved that.
And when you say that, I was just thinking too, though Isaac Hayes was with Stax Records and they talked about the Memphis sound. Right. Superfly is more of that Chicago sound, like Up from Mississippi, which really influenced music in Chicago. And so I think that you had that, but I like the counter narratives, and I mean just some of the songs that I think is iconic is Little Child Running Around, The Pusher Man, and everybody's favorite, Freddie's Dead.
Do do you think that he? One of the things I always thought of Isaac Hayes. Have you ever been to the Stax Museum in Memphis?
Yes.
You know, I always love to see that Cadillac that they put.
Yeah.
You know, and I knew people who had Cadillacs just like that. They had that the phone and a little TV sitting up there, and it was just funny when you see it and the gold plated, and so it was quite a thing to go in that museum and celebrate those days, the music of those days, Al Green and all of the writers and stuff. So I love that tour. We always went on that tour and went to that museum whenever we took the young people to Memphis.
Yeah, I think Memphis has two great museums: the Civil Rights Museum there at the Lorraine Motel, and then the Stax. You got to do Stax. I mean,
yeah, and
the history and the people that was at Stax. Yeah, there's a video. I don't know if you remember it, of a young Shirley Caesar. She was so young, she had acne, and she's singing with the Caravans. Yeah,
there's another place there called Slave Haven. It's an old German farmers place where he hid slaves, and you can go through the building and go down in it and see where the slaves hid in the basement, up in all of the crevices, and they had to be quiet. So it's called Slave Haven. So we spent a little time there because that was the closest to the actual. Well, it was an actual slave haven. So
I was going. So Slave Haven. Okay. Did you go to what is Elvis Presley's?
Oh no, we didn't go. We strictly made it black. So the tours was all black.
Was kind of black, wasn't it?
But we did. These young people would have.
Graceland. I'm sorry.
We took them to see their culture because we were 5-6 days out. So between Memphis, Birmingham, Selma, Atlanta, all of the places, we took them to Tuskegee, and even went to Lemoyne, the Black College in Memphis. Lemoyne Owen. Yeah, we went to we took them everywhere they could experience Black history up close and personal.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. Hey, I had one.
Okay, go on.
Just one thing. A couple of weeks ago, you guys remember you had that question. I think one of you guys asked. He said, "If you won the lottery, would you move?" And I said I wouldn't, but I did have one of the reasons is I got transferred from Milwaukee to Trenton, Ohio, in the early '80s to build a new brewery. I was part of a team building a new brewery, and I lived in a small town in Trenton, Ohio, out in the books. And I loved the house. We was on a half acre, but man, it was a trek to go grocery shopping. You had to go to Cincinnati or either Dayton, and you'd be all day riding to go do your thing. So I didn't like the fact that I living in the country kept me away from all of the services and stuff I used to do. So that's why, and I lived on a half acre, so I could have a little everything. So, but that was the only experience I had outside of living in Milwaukee, that I could move to and bought a home out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, okay. Appreciate you, man.
Okay, y'all take care.
You all were talking on Michelle's program, and when you were talking about radio stations playing
mainstream records,
yeah, but there was certain rap music that wasn't even being played in New York.
Yeah,
and people say it's the record company, but no, I think it is what people were actually listening to at the parties and in the club. And so there were music, like they didn't want to play NWA. There was certain music they just didn't want to play. This is New York. New York is considered the birthplace of hip hop, right? Where they weren't playing, and then finally, I don't know what that it became a hip hop station there where they began to play. It could have been. They started playing hip hop, but I think this was driven by what people were listening to, not on the radio, but what they were listening to on the streets, like doing disco. A lot of songs didn't get radio play. They initially started off being played in the clubs, and then radio, because look, radio's it's business. It's a business model. Right. You want ears on radio, now eyes, but you want ears on radio. So people began to play what the people on the streets were listening to.
But New York, you really can't use New York and the NWA because back then, NWA and the music that they put out, it wasn't considered hip hop.
It was rap.
No.
But it was rap.
I know, but there's a difference between
I'm gonna
the,
disagree with you.
no, because I'll tell you why. The NWA era and the whole DOC era, it was considered gangster music. It was gangster rap. The New York music, it was the hip hop, it was the conscious, it was the Timbs, it was the Army Fatigue. So you had people like Big L. You had people like
It started
KRS-One.
It started off as party music.
No. But I'm talking about in New York. The reason why they didn't play stuff like NWA because they was playing stuff like X Clan. They was playing stuff like like I said, Big L. They was playing stuff like LL Cool J because that was considered hip hop.
Well, no, it was also considered New York, and New York had this because it was the birthplace of rap, hip hop as we know it. That incarnation of that musical genre. They were condescending of anybody rapping from any place else. So part of when that East Coast, West Coast thing was going on, it was some of this other nonsense, but it was also where New Yorkers felt like they were so much superior. They looked down because when the Dirty South, and I'm gonna tell you one large city that didn't do rap. Can you tell me what that large city was when it first started? It didn't do rap. Chicago, name until Kanye.
No, that ain't true.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Until Kanye and Common, you didn't have rap superstars coming from Chicago.
That's not true.
Give me a rap superstar, not some rap dude. Y'all know because y'all down and y'all listening to house music. Give me one superstar that came doing what we call the beginning.
Twister.
Okay, Twister. And when was Twister?
Twister was in the 90s.
Okay. But in the 80s, who was doing rap? And the reason why I say this is because they were having this discussion and dudes were going like, I don't know if it was it Common, somebody is going like, man, they wasn't rapping in Chicago. That they weren't even they wasn't rapping.
No, that's not true, Keith. That's not true because you had Common that was out in the 80s, but they wasn't mainstream.
Common's 90s, right?
No. Common hit the mainstream market in the 90s, but they was all underground
Chicago
rappers.
wasn't known for rap.
They was underground rappers.
But did you hear the question I asked you?
No, but that's who. But that's because of radio that would take you and make it mainstream. But not Kanye, Common. You had Common, you had Twister, you had those guys that had the hay in the middle of the barn. All of these cats was underground until radio tapped into that market.
Okay, but you're making my point. That in the 80s, rap was big in New York. Rap was big up and down the East Coast. But in Chicago, Chicago was still doing rhythm and blues.
No,
they were.
What I'm saying is it was big in Chicago. They just didn't get a note. They didn't get notarized just like
if
Milwaukee.
It's big in Chicago.
Just like
but
Milwaukee,
it ain't big in America. It was big. So then it's local.
No, but what I'm saying is you said Chicago was more R&B. That's not true.
They were. In the 80s, they were.
It was a lot of.
They were still wearing Jerry curls. They were.
And there was a lot of rappers that was wearing Jerry curls. So I'm saying is just like in Milwaukee, rap was huge in the 80s. It was huge, but because there was nobody tapping into the market here, nobody knew about any of the artists here. So nobody tapped into the market.
But what I'm saying, it wasn't even like really played here. It was one of those phenomenons. And look, every now and then, people can be on the Late Show.
Right.
And in Chicago, when it came to rap, they were on the Late Show. Now, once they got in the game, they produced some great rappers, but it just wasn't. It was like you had people that were like, it'd be regional, right? It'd be regional. Because I can remember the first time I heard like what was considered rap was I was at this little college and dude was playing Richard Pryor and he did Richard Pryor, and he was using like a sample. Now he's playing a song, and Richard Pryor is doing his bits first. And then Rapper's Delight came out,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But that was really New York, the East Coast, and then even when you look at when NWA and these dudes hit from the West Coast, it was after what was done, because rap started in 1972.
Right. So what's happening is when you have the radio market dictating what you hear and what is pushed, that's what makes it popular for that particular time. But you had rappers here in Milwaukee, Chicago, that Detroit, you had rappers that was underground, and the reason why they was considered underground is because the market hasn't tapped into this particular area yet. So they wasn't tapped into the Midwest. They was tapped into the East Coast, and then they started tapping into the West
When
Coast.
I came back to Milwaukee in 1980, I didn't hear Rapper's Delight. What I did hear was Roger Troutman.
But what stations was you listening to?
No, I'm just saying what the kids were playing on the playground, because they brought boom boxes. And so what you would hear, the Midwest was on the Late Show when it came to rap. And a lot of that is cultural. Like I could tell you, blues are not big in New York. Blues are not big in New York. Blues are still big in Chicago because many of the people who were in Chicago came from Mississippi, right?
Right.
That's the influence. When you listen to gospel music in Chicago and compare that to gospel music coming out of, compare Ricky Dillard to Richard Smallwood.
Right.
Richard Smallwood had a more, God, I hate to use this term, more classical,
yeah.
And I almost want to say sophisticated, but then when I look at what Ricky Dillard does in songs, that's very sophisticated, very intricate. But I'm saying it was very different than what you were hearing in Chicago. Chicago was gut hard singing, right? When these folks get up, it's just hard. But that's the Mississippi blues roots that impacted the music. And then being in Milwaukee, because we upstream, like that became who people. So if you went to a church, a lot of the songs that you heard were songs that were primarily probably done in Chicago. Not to say there weren't other great groups. And then people it was like you all had that question on Beyonce, right? And her coming from Houston, right? And then you had Kurt Franklin. He's from Texas, right? So then it began. But I'm saying in terms of, I would say that Chicago is the capital of gospel music. That just so many influences out of Chicago, but it's a very different style than who was the church that was it institutional out of New York, which was a very different sound. So anyway, we pick it up. Hey, Throwback Thursday. Y'all give me some throwback. Always love doing Throwback Thursday. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and we were just looking at something they're doing on television today. They said preparation for Pie Day, and so they had all the different pies there. Rideout was saying that he don't like chocolate pies. I'm not a pie guy. I think because my mother made so many sweet potato pies when I was growing up, I don't even eat sweet potatoes today because we ate so much. That was one of the desserts my mom could make was sweet, and people loved her sweet potato pie, and they loved her cobbler. So, who's over? That what's that? Okay, Debo, you eat pie, man?
I do. Peach cobbler, I mean, that's all fine.
Okay.
Peach cobbler, apple cobbler, pear cobbler. My grandmother make it all.
Yeah, my wife made an apple pie for my mother, and I said, "You trying to kill her?" Because that pie was so rich, man. If you were diabetic, it was gonna kill you. That pie was, yeah.
Baseball apple pie and Chevrolet.
Is we call it cheesecake, but is cheesecake a pie?
I don't consider it a pie.
Why not?
Even though you use a pie crust, but typically don't you use a brown cracker crust?
Yeah, but what?
It takes it out of the pie brand, doesn't it?
Yeah, let me see. Is cheesecake a pie? Maybe if I spell cheesecake right, is cheesecake a pie? Pie. Okay. Wow. How about that? Okay. Technically, cheesecake is considered a tart or custard pie, not a cake. While it has cake in its name, its structure is separate pressed crust filled with creamy egg-based custard aligns more closely with pies, specifically custard pies, or more precisely, a tart. Yeah, now that was the other thing that Rhonda's thing. We used to have a plum tree, and Rhonda, boy, she went in and made plum preserves, but she made plum tarts. Yeah, she made plum tarts.
That didn't tear your stomach up?
Now I think that's when it becomes a prune.
Nah, I mean plums too. Like eating.
Aren't prunes plums?
Now that I don't know. That's a good question.
God, you got me looking up
That's a
stuff
good
today.
question. So yeah, because wait, so do plums turn into prunes?
That's our plums.
That's a good question.
What was it? Our plums.
Plumes. Prunes. Who said plumes?
Thank you.
Dude, you looked at me like what?
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
Whoa.
Prunes are dried plums.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So after it's sit for a while, then it.
Yeah, they said that specifically from varieties of the European plum, Prunus domestica, that can be dried without fermenting. While all prunes are plums, not all plums are prunes.
What?
Only certain highly sugar plums varieties are used to create the chewy, dried fruit.
Wait, you said while all plums are prunes, all prunes are not plums.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, I'd take help for $500.
Huh?
On Alex questions.
Yeah, well, you learn something
Yeah.
Ed Day.
Yeah, and it took all the way up to now
Ed Day.
to find out that I really didn't know that.
I didn't. I wondered.
Wow.
So, are raisins grapes?
Yeah. No. Wait.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Raisin is a raisin, a dried prune. Put that out there.
What'd you say? Okay, I can't put it out there because I hear what you said. Yes,
You said
raisins are grapes. Their dried grape may be dehydrated fresh grapes, most commonly the Thompson seedless variety. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's happening, man?
You got it. Hey, man, this guy was up north duck hunting, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he popped a duck, but it flew into this guy's land, private property. So he knocked on the fence and he said, "Hey, man, my duck flew over there." The man came and said, "Yeah, I got your duck." He said, "But it's on my land, so it's mine." He said, "Come on, man, I need my duck, man. Come on, quit playing." He said, "I'll tell you what I do. We'll kick each other in the private parts, and whoever lose the duck." So he said, "Okay." He said, "Since I'm the owner, I'm going first." So the owner kicked him in the private parts, and the man was like, "Ooh, ouch!" Oh, he was in pain for a long time. He said, "Okay, it's my turn." He said, "No, you can have the duck." Peace, brothers.
Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
All right, I'm gonna keep my comments to that one. I wanted to ask you a question, Mr. Parris, if you don't mind.
Is it a hardwood, Al?
I don't want to ask that one either.
Okay.
But what I wanted to ask you, I know we have a lot of stuff going on here in Milwaukee, and I was going to ask you, how do you feel about trying to reduce some of these duplexes in the inner city and turning the streets to one ways and taking some of these inner city neighborhoods that's been neglected and start making them cul-de-sacs, since people can't really say too much about it? Do you think that can change the narrative of the city? Because I think there's a lot of great potential here, but we have a lot of excuses. And I also feel like if we don't hold like the people that live here to a certain standard, then some of these politicians don't have to worry about them being held to a bigger standard because they already got your vote and said, "F you, nigga B."
Let me ask a question. If I feel like I'm not cared about, why would I care about you?
That's true.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. You mean just the people?
I'm saying that some of it, not all of it, but some of
Okay.
it is that there are people who don't feel like they're cared about. There are people who feel like they're not seen. And so that might lead to a certain type of behavior. I mean, if you have people who are at a low mental self-esteem, kind of, why would I care about you when I don't even really care about me and nobody seems to care about me? And I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm just throwing it out there asking.
Well, you know what I always say. Well, if nobody care about you, you care about yourself.
But what if you don't know how to do that?
Well, most people know how to when they get drunk and they want something they want. That care turns into a whole lot of dedication, determination.
But is that really care?
Yeah, because it changes once that person leaves. Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying that, I hear people say love yourself, but what is that? How does that, if I'm not really valued?
Well, here's the thing is, if you love yourself, your love that you give yourself is going to be more love that you get from anybody else, because you're not going to lie to yourself. See, somebody can tell you you're great, you outstanding, and they could be lying to you, but if you tell it to yourself, it's coming straight from your heart, which means it has more power than any greater energy that's being told to you or given to you on the side.
That's real talk, because people come up and tell me about how much they enjoy my preaching, but I don't believe them. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you. No, I think, and let me use me. And everybody ain't me. Can I do that disclaimer? Everybody ain't me. I never felt like when I was a child I wasn't cared about. That I didn't have people who loved me and valued me. But trust me, there is a group of young people that people don't really care about them, right? And then how they show care is usually not in a very positive sense. So how do I then, so then why do we have an expectation of them for something they have not seen or experienced, for them to be able then to extend that to other people where they felt like, or their experience has been, well, nobody cares about me.
Well, the thing is, it's easy not to care about yourself because that requires absolutely no effort. But it takes everything to be greatness in your own eyes. That's why they always say, I can't care about somebody more. I can't care about somebody who don't care about themselves, because if I continue to help them, my help is going to be
right.
A stepping stone for you to do less. So what I'm trying to say is, if we can start changing the narrative of the inner city, then we can get some progression, because see, we have so many excuses. But then when it comes to that desire or that addiction or something that's very minimal, we know how to get it, we know how to grab it, we know how to enjoy it. But with the way we're going right now, nobody is saying anything, because if people here start caring more about themselves, they will have bigger expectations for these black people who got their vote.
But not only do I have to care about myself, I have to care about other people. And what I mean by that is, and I agree with you, I used to tell staff, I can't want your job more than you want your job, right? So I'm not even going to do that. If you don't want it, I don't want it, because that's on you. But I'm saying, real talk, we live in a world where it's important for us to be affirmed. It's important for us to be valued. That's just part of human development, so we use the term love, but I think it's more than that, and so there is a segment, and then that segment, though a small segment, can do a disproportionate amount of damage because they are so damaged. At the Alma Center, they say that which is not transformed is transferred, right? Or you've heard hurt people, right? I mean, and it's a cause. It's not an excuse, but these are causes out there. And I think when we use terms like excuses, that becomes a little loaded. If I'm just looking at it just from a sociological perspective, you go like, well, yeah, it is. And then I think the other thing is, and I go back to me, I have to realize that everybody didn't benefit like I benefited from the environment that I found myself in. Right.
And yes.
And so I think, okay, go on.
Well, no, I'm listening. You go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, so that's why I try to be more affirming to people, but not to be a crutch, not to make excuses, but we need to value. It was something I mentioned to Pastor Lanier yesterday. It is in Ubuntu that as human beings, we are tied to one another, right? We have a responsibility for other human beings. And our first responsibility, the first human beings we're responsible for other than ourselves, would be our family, would be our children. And then what are we doing to truly invest in our children? It's like, if you could take off of work to make sure you got to your son's football game, but you're not going to take off of work to go to a parent-teachers conference, what message are you sending to your son? That the football is more important because I value that than your academics, right? And so I'm thinking but there's a lot that goes into this environment. Jesus said the poor will always be with us. I'm clear on that we have people out here who are dealing with issues over and beyond, and we get frustrated, because people don't see the world the way we do. Well, what formed your worldview? Why are you the person that you are?
Well, all I'm saying is, because if we don't see a change, we're going to be like 35% from being 100% of looking like we're going to be looking like Rockford and Beloit in a minute, and we're not seeing no glory. So I'm going to say this in closing. If those people have given up, there's a lot of low income and Fond du Lac and Oshkosh, and I heard the jobs are very great down there, because right now we're going down a dead end road and nobody is going to say anything. And I'm not voting for none of these black politicians who is not going to try to say something. Because I feel like we're more than mental health. We're more than low income and food pantries. Because if you keep telling black people they got mental health, then they're going to start believing it, and then it's going to be another reason for them to try to get a disability check.
If we don't identify and diagnose the mental health and then treat the mental health, then you and I are going to suffer, because that mental health, that pathology, that sociopathic behavior then impacts us in a negative way. So yeah, there are a lot of people running around here with undiagnosed, untreated mental health challenges. I mean, and so if you got people out there, it's like the dude we was talking about went on that little crime spree. You cannot tell me that Negro wasn't dealing with some challenges. Obviously he was. The man who shot the brother down at Sinai, obviously this man was dealing with some mental challenges.
Well, I knew a guy who said one time, he said he was going to cut his wrist. I told him, what you waiting on? I'm going to give you a bigger butcher knife because I'm not too small. He said, nigga, you crazy. Have a good day, y'all.
Did he do it? All right.
He did it.
Did he do it? I don't think he did. Okay. Remember, there was, though, this young lady who just got convicted for encouraging her boyfriend to kill himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Caller, welcome to the program.
I saw that.
Hey, good morning to you, my man.
All right, this is going to be a minute. So I want you to hold on, Meech. I need to get to break because I know we're going to be going for a minute, and I want to give you full time because you said I cut you off right when you think you hit your stride. Are we cool?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You're listening to Community Voice. The phone lines open. It's Throwback Thursday. What's ever on your mind? Certainly love to hear you. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We'll be right back. All right, Brother Meach. Brother Meach.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, brother, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was just listening, and at first you were talking about different things people notice. I mean, not knowing what produce certain food or some certain vegetables. And I think we talked about it once before. A peanut is not really a nut;
That's correct.
it's a bean.
Right.
So my curiosity is, why do we always say peanut? Why don't we say pea bean?
Well, it's
You know?
like cheesecake is not a cake.
Right. I heard that's what brought me into the conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, like an egg custard. And that was a good question. But anyway, the lower caller just called and he kind of had a conversation today for you. And
The Lord got your number?
The Lord got all our numbers. Be ready to answer when he called. You know what I mean?
He got your cell phone number.
Yeah. No, hey, listen.
Be also
Hey,
ready.
listen now. You were talking about mental health.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were talking about mental health. And the lower caller is kind of right when you talk about mental health. We have mental health in everything in our Black community. And that's because we put a monetary value on everything in this community. That's why we're number one in infant mortality. We're number one in women's breast cancer. We're number one in diabetes. We're number one in everything. And the statistics will actually fan out and show that we're number one, because the people that we have fighting for the big dollars out of DC, that Black caucus that we have, they fight, man, to get that pork back to their communities. That's why you never hear other nationalities on different radio stations talking about certain things. Like right now, life insurance is kind of sparkling everywhere, okay? And I think everybody needs life insurance. Life insurance is kind of sprinkled throughout radio and social media. But in the Black community, it's bombarded, with life insurance. Wherever we are at, we are a dollar. We represent the buck, the big buck. Now, he was talking about, he sounded almost like a conservative, and outside of his open lifestyle, and outside of his open lifestyle and these immigrant protection, the enemy, he sounded, his whole view is kind of conservative when he speaks about it being being independent, having your own, doing it. These are all concepts that most Black people have anyway. So he was talking about the dead end streets and that kind of stuff in the one way. That right there bothered me, because that's a problem. That cuts into our freedoms, man. Let's be realistic. Chevy got on the radio, got on TV the other day and said this Vision Zero has cut down the fatalities. It has saved lives. And now, if you look at it at that aspect of maybe a car crash, but how many lives have it caused to lose? I seen a poster. Had you not, you almost made it. You almost made it. But if you almost made it, had it been 5 minutes earlier. Guess what? Due to all your bump stops, your one-lane streets, your roundabouts, you're losing time to the hospital. And God knows that most major cities, they've removed all trauma centers. Most major cities, we used to have a trauma center at Sinai. We haven't had a trauma center in this city here probably in 35 years. They moved it to Freighter. By the time you get there to Freighter, you done bled out. You done died. Grandma, maybe she can get to a local hospital, but with the roundabout and all of that, if she would have made it 5 minutes earlier. So there's something that goes into that. And me and you, I think, had that argument, or was it Ingram? Somebody wanted to debate me about the speed bumps and how it slows down process. Even the police got to slow down for the bad guy when you're going through that. When you're in high pursuit and you're going through a neighborhood. Now they've even put them, Keith, on some of our major streets, which is definitely a bad idea. Vision Zero is a California.
Why is it a bad idea?
Because it obstructs traffic, brother.
And
It
if we
obstructs
slow
traffic.
down traffic, doesn't that then kind of, doesn't totally, but somewhat mitigate people, one, speeding, right? Because they can't speed, they can't get to an outside lane to get around. And so now they have to be within the traffic pattern.
Okay, fine. But look at your ambulance. What about your emergency vehicle?
Well, I mean, but that
No. That's serious because that could be me and you taking a ride in the joint, right?
Wait a
So let's
minute.
get real.
Okay, I got that, bro. I'm just saying that, okay, but then you're right. What? So people can't pull over?
Brother, if it's a red light right there and the traffic is backed up, I seen this on 35th and Belief. The traffic was backed up, and guess what? The ambulance had to sit there and wait because traffic was starting to come. You had an arrow. Traffic was starting to come one way, and that lane was sitting there. It was sitting there blocked.
Okay.
That's time. That's time, man.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Vision Zero is a California idea. Well, actually, it's an out-of-country idea that has been implemented. California took it and grabbed onto it. What this country is running on is California politics.
Well,
And
I can
guess
tell
what?
you that traffic mitigation is happening all over the country, in small towns, big cities.
Guess why? Because of
happening
Vision
because-
Zero. Not in the states where they push back at, brother. Not in the states where they saying, you're not going to come here.
And I wonder,
tie our hands.
what the traffic fatalities are looking like.
Brother, this is all hype. And black people are so naive, man. We can almost say it's a black bug.
Well,
and
black
everybody
people
got
call
it.
in here complaining about the traffic and speed and reckless driving.
Them the ones, hey man, look here. Them the ones, man, that got old and scared and forgot they used to burn rubber too. Them the ones that's causing the whole chaotic problem here in our community. The ones that are fighting and afraid. And guess what? And I gotta be honest with you. It's really the Gen Xers, man, that's really showing themselves to be a weak people, man. They have maybe because everything was just given and wasn't a real struggle, but they're creating the laws, and the laws, man, are geared towards tying our hands and taking our civil liberties. I want to be free. Let me tell you something, man. I may want to run a red light every now and then. Do I need a camera up there?
No, man, and let me stop you before you incriminate yourself.
I
Appreciate
ain't
you, man.
incriminating myself. I said I may want to run one. I
What's your
didn't say I
license plate
will
number?
run one.
What's your license plate number?
G25101262.
Okay, all right.
I got one of them funny kind of plates.
You look like that's a California plate with all those numbers on it. All right, man. Appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. He can play about California, but he got a California plate. Caller, welcome to the program.
Morning, Keith. This is John. It's really blowing my mind. Hey, the jazz thing you were talking about was really fascinating. Probably a good hour ago. I always wonder how, because you explained it really well, the way they split up and they went in different cities. So I was wondering about that. How I always thought they kind of broke off and went to each city, but it makes sense the way you said it. They specialized. Is that kind of what you said?
No, well, okay. Thank you for that. And can I get 2 minutes to try to just give some
Sure.
differences? Okay.
Sure. That's
The
what I'm
original people who did what we call rap hip hop
Right.
were
That's
of
where you
West
started,
Indian
correct.
descent.
Indian?
Okay? West
You mean
Indian
like-
descent. They were
West
from the
Indian, right,
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
They were from
Right,
the
correct.
Caribbean, right?
That's
And
right.
then,
That's right.
so that influence, right,
Mm,
is there in
yeah.
terms of what they did, how they did what they did. I don't know how much of an
Yeah.
influence, but it was certainly, because I think Kool Herc, all those folks. What's my big boy? Just he passed.
Oh, that's why the rhythm's
Heavy
that
D.
way. I never
Heavy
thought of
D,
that.
like I think he's
Heavy
part,
D.
part Jamaican. So in New York City, they had a different kind of influence. In Chicago,
Yeah.
the influence was still dominated by Mississippi,
Blues.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which though
yeah, that's why it had
is
that funny
African
rhythm.
people, but it's a kind of a
Yeah.
different African rhythm, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
in
'cause
terms
it's
of the
that different
diaspora,
rhythm,
so
right.
I think that
Yeah.
those things also probably influenced what people were
Mhm.
doing. The Midwest is a very conservative part of the country. Midwest kind of moves very slowly when it comes to trends,
Yeah,
where
sure.
you have places like certainly LA, New York, where they're trendsetters. And in the Midwest, because of just maybe how we situated, again, and then where people come from, the ethnic makeup here. If you look at the African Americans who live in a city like Milwaukee, well, we don't have a large West Indian population here, right? We don't have a large Caribbean. We have Puerto Ricans, we have Haitians, we have Jamaicans, but not when you go to New York.
Sure.
Because I don't know what percentage they make up in terms of African people in New York, but I would say maybe a third.
Pretty huge.
Right. And then even where those folks who migrated to New York primarily came along the Eastern Seaboard. So they came from places like South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. But it's that so I'm thinking that could be a part of it. I'm not a musicologist, but I'm saying, but those influences are, and I'm gonna tell you where blues is still really big in Chicago.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier.
It's huge.
And then,
but a lot of that
New
is
Orleans
because
is in
of
the
roots of blues, which is primarily, not to say you had New Orleans and others, but primarily when we look at the blues that we sing, it'd be like Delta, right?
Yeah, Mississippi, correct.
Yeah, be Delta.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. So that could explain why hip hop, specifically rap music, didn't take off, which was real kind of fascinating. Because one of my frustrations when I moved back here was when you went to a club, you never heard the DJ. He never spoke. She never spoke. In Milwaukee, I remember growing up and the DJ talking all over the record.
In Milwaukee?
Yeah, they talking all over the record. I mean,
like Dr. Bop.
Yeah, I mean,
like Dr. Bop.
Dr. Bop, a minute. It was just one of those things where. So I think, like in the Midwest, because of where we are, the influences that impact the Midwest, then you get, like people in the South, where that what they call that heavy bottom wasn't part of hip hop in New York. But when it came out the South, it was about the bottom. It was about that bass, and how full that bass sound was. California was light. I mean, they had a nice little groove, but it wasn't like when you came out the South. I went to a club, I think it was Mr. V's Figure Eight back in the day, and they advertised themselves as Earthquake Sound. Man, they turned on that system, that whole building rumbled because the bass was so heavy. So really, the part of the country you come from obviously influences what your music sounds like.
I got a question. When you talk about the bass, when these guys have their cars and this sounds like it's distorted, is that deliberate? When the bass is so heavy, is that an accident or is that a part of the deliberate? The way we used to love fuzz when we were kids? The way,
I think
it's
poor understanding of engineering and science. Like, you need to be able to, that frame needs to be able to maintain that and frame as a conductor. And that's why, because you already got a raggedy frame and you putting even more stress on the frame by, putting the bass in the car. Yeah, I think that's it more than anything else. I think how you calibrate that is based on, like, like in the car, the one thing is with the windows up and you have a real good sound system, it'd be like, man, I'm in a concert hall. But I gotta be distortion in the car. They can't be, because I know what it sounded like outside the car. But that's like, they got more stereo than they got car.
Yeah, but you hearing the license plate rattle. Those things are rattling from the bass being so loud.
Right.
In the car, you said?
No, on the car, parts of the car that just rattle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought they deliberately did it. I'm glad you guys clarified that because I always wondered. I thought it was me. I thought it was my bad.
I don't know what they're hearing in that car. But it's a contained space and sound has to go somewhere, right? That's the whole thing. It's like if you're in an empty building, this is something sound techs, if they know what they're doing, they understand. If you have a building where it's full, right? You can project more sound because the bodies are absorbing the sound. When you're in an empty building, it's different. And so now these sound waves are bouncing. That's why you get feedback sometimes because the sound waves are bouncing. There's nothing to really kind of stop them. So they're all over the place.
It's like padding. Like padding.
If you ever go into a musical studio, what do you see in there? One, the floor is going to be wood. And the reason why the floor is wood is because wood is a great conductor of sound. Right? And then you have the other thing where you really want that one, you don't want to hear any outside noise coming in. And then how you creating that sound environment.
Yeah, they pad it. My brother built
and try to explain to people why you got the mic so high. There's 8 people in here. We can hear.
Right. Wow.
All right, John. Let me get.
Hey, thanks. That's
right.
helpful.
Appreciate you, man.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a musicologist. Caller, welcome to the program. No, what? I could have kept John on. Oh. It's break time. Morning has broken like the first morning. That's Cat Stevens. You listen to Community Voice. The phone line's open, 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. When we get back, you can win tickets to opening night of The Wiz at the Marcus Performing Arts Center. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Keith Parris.
Welcome back. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
All is well.
Oh, you calling to be part of the conversation this morning?
Well, you were offering tickets, so I just.
Oh, you called for the tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you know the rules. You got to answer a question, right?
I'm ready.
You ready? Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? All right. Let me give you a hard one.
I'll win off of that.
Okay. All right. What popular song is sung at least 3 times in the Broadway production of The Wiz?
I know that answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do.
No Place Like Home?
No, not Home. There's another song that's associated with the play. All right, you want a hint?
Yeah.
Okay. Yellow Brick
Road.
So what's the name of the song?
What's the name of the song?
Follow.
Pardon me?
From The Wiz. From The Wiz.
I done won 4 tickets. Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
No.
And I think that we should take our next caller.
All right. Sorry about that.
Give it a do.
You want to give her one more?
No.
All right. All right. Sorry. All right. 414-444-5250.
Thanks,
so
Jermaine.
close.
Go ahead and
so close. Yeah.
No cigar.
No cigar. All right. All right. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That same lady.
It sure is. I got through, so.
You only get one try, though, ma'am. You can't double back.
Oh, she back. She back. All right.
Keith, this must be one of your cousins or something, man.
He texts her aside. Call back.
Hey, cut you. All right. What popular song is sung at least 3 times in the Broadway production of The Wiz?
Ease on down the road.
Yes.
Who told you?
No one told you.
Right.
All right, hold on and enjoy the show. That's for opening night, March 24th at the Marcus Performing Arts Center. The Broadway production of The Wiz. All right, he's going to get your information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Caller, I'm going to get this caller.
They hung up.
They hung up. They wasn't calling because they wanted to talk to me. They called because they wanted tickets. Oh, man. People are, wow. Hey, Debo.
We got nothing for him to win now. You made sure your cousin got it.
No.
You may as well have told her the whole answer. You'll say, Yellow Brick. Really, Keith?
Hey, I would have. I don't know. I don't know how I'd when because Michelle's question was Beyonce, and I don't know how many people know Beyonce is from Houston. So I don't know. I don't know if I would have did something
But
like
when she gave a clue, she said there are a lot of something about independent.
Yeah, I didn't even know that song. I didn't know that. I would have said Lemonade.
Yes, you do. All the women independent.
Oh, okay.
Hands up at me.
Or say put a ring on it.
Yeah, I mean that would you may as well just say Beyonce if you don't say that. But
Well, we trying to get her to say Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
What?
I ain't with all that. That lady shouldn't have been able to come back through a second time and won. That's out of order, dude.
Okay.
Somebody else should have got them tickets. That wasn't right.
Okay.
Debo was right. You shouldn't have let her back in.
Okay.
No, don't just okay
it's his
me.
show.
Say,
It's his show, so he opted to do that. Thank you,
don't
Angela.
be giving me no cricket, Debo. I mean, Jermaine. Be quiet,
And don't be
dude.
calling in here yelling at me.
Keith.
I'm sensitive.
Let me redo my voice. I do apologize for yelling at you.
Yelling at me, giving me
I'm
what the rules are.
apologizing, Keith. You know I love you.
You're
You my
listening to
dude.
WNOV 860 and
Wait.
W293
No, play
CX
is with Keith Parris.
106.5
Now, who showed it?
Milwaukee.
Keith.
Yeah.
I
You're
apologize.
inside
I didn't mean to
Community
yell at
Voice
you.
Isn't that this,
on
Angela?
WNOV 860
What?
AM
Isn't
and
that this?
106.5 FM with your host,
Say what,
Keith
Devo?
Paris.
Yeah, just trying to remind you who show it was, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know whose show it
Your
is.
host, Keith
I ain't
Paris.
forgot.
Who's it, Jermaine?
Host, Keith Paris.
Oh, my God. Y'all better quit
I
playing
think
with me.
people
before I
forget
come up here and
sometimes.
slap
I
all
think they
y'all.
forget. They call in talking to me, and I got to remind them she's on from 7 to 9.
Right.
Right. You know, so
Host, Keith
I'm apologizing to you, man. Can you just accept that?
it's too
I
late.
said I apologize.
I'm hurt.
We accept your apology, but don't do that no more.
All right, Devo, I won't do it no more.
Thank you.
Put that on yourself.
Well, she called back. I mean, she got back. So
Host, Keith Paris.
Okay, that's enough, Jermaine.
I just feel like
there,
people need to
and
know
maybe
his name.
we can talk about tomorrow
Say my name,
when
say my
DJ is
name.
here. But there's some folks ain't got nothing else to do but hate.
Uh-oh.
I'm really coming to the conclusion they ain't got nothing else to do but hate.
Is this a hater nation?
Tell him what you
Yeah, I need to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a hater nation.
That's a
We
hater.
got a
This
whole
is
segment for that.
Oh man, people ain't got nothing else to do but
Man, did they tell you what happened to Clark yesterday? Keith, did they tell you what happened to Clark yesterday? You got a caller?
No. Somebody that just called and snapped on me.
Oh, they yelled at you too?
Yeah, they yelled at me.
He's getting reamed up pretty good this week.
Well, you know
he been
what?
catching it.
Yeah, let me do Michelle. Now don't be caught here yelling at because it's me.
Hey, well, you know, I hate to just let people know it's
Your host, Keith Paris.
Right, there you go.
it's your hope.
Man, people just hate, man.
Keith, can you?
I don't want to talk about it so bad, but I got to wait on DJ. But people just hate.
Tell him what you mad about.
Man, I'm mad about. People just hate. You just can't, man. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Oh.
Hey Keith,
Lord.
why don't you invite folks? It's on the screen over there. Can you invite folks out to that tomorrow?
Oh yeah, you're cordially invited to March Mix and Mingle, Friday, March the 13th. And Eyes of March is what, the 13th or 14th? Okay. Friday, March 13th from 5 to 8 p.m. at 2213 Dr. MLK Drive. That is the new summer of 85. Our music will be by none other than Mr. Debo and DJ. Who you with?
Mm-hmm.
Clark Kent. So get a chance to meet a lot of us from the station.
And I might have a question. I doubt it though.
I heard that your questions are banned. There's a petition.
Yeah, somebody's.
Michelle, you can send me that petition so I can sign it. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Keith?
What's happening, man?
Well, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to really talk about Bam Adebayo.
We gotta wait, man. We gotta wait.
I gotta wait.
We gotta wait, man.
I'm glad you holding off on that till tomorrow.
The haters out there, man. Haters.
Okay, that's a good lead into what I want to talk about. Yes, there are haters and self-haters who like to call and hear themselves lie, because there are two lies that I heard on your show today. One is that Black people are naive, which would mean, based on that statement, that the majority, at least 51% of us, are naive. When only 8% of us were naive to back an individual, because I'm going to start early not saying that orange person's name, back an individual who has people working for him who run a website that are talking about 12 or 14 different ways to unalive Black people. And this person is a college law student. Y'all can look that up and y'all got time. And so that's factually incorrect. You're good at math, pretty decent, right, Keith?
No.
Okay.
But go on.
Well, I mean, simple,
Mm-hmm.
So people who are Gen X are people who were born after like 1965, while the
that would be
civil rights movement was going on. So if what some people say is true, that fire that they had created hip hop, which also connects with your show. And these were the people who came of age when the individual who was on your show lying, when the people who sent the jobs all over the world that their parents and grandparents migrated from the South to get, these were the people who were turning 18. People who were about 60 to 50. They were coming of age during the crack epidemic. They were coming of age during unemployment rising because of jobs being shipped overseas. Ronald Reagan, which is a real big reason why hip hop was created. There's a documentary that talks about his speech in New York, where he lied, talking about what he was going to do for New York when he was running for president. After he had already went down south to Mississippi, where the Confederacy started.
Philadelphia
started.
No, Philadelphia.
So
listen to me real quick on that fact. He went to Philadelphia, Mississippi. Philadelphia, Mississippi is where the 3 civil rights workers were killed.
Yes.
Okay.
And a few miles from DeKalb, Mississippi, where the Confederacy was founded.
Right.
So it is very naive for our brother Meech to support the Confederacy as much as he does and call and disparage his people. But we love him, and we're gonna keep forgiving him because he's ours. You know.
Send him back.
I just had to state those facts. He just came on air and stated 2 blatant non-facts. Gen X are probably the first generation that wasn't able to get a job at 18 with like the kind of education that he obviously has, very little.
Yeah, I graduated,
and working for 50 years.
Into that recession. I'm class of 79. So
yeah,
I graduated
so people
into
your
that.
age and down to, about 50 are people who had to have many jobs most of the time to survive and raise their families, and also were the guinea pigs, Keith, of integration. I'm one of them.
Yep.
O.C. White sent a bus load full of us to Clara Barton and to Webster in 1978. So it is very naive of our ignorant brother, who is a part of the ignorant 8%, to get on air and lie about Gen X, which has done a lot of great things and is continuing to do a lot of great things, in our 50s and beyond. So I'm sorry he hates his people and himself so much that he would be willing to call on a beautiful day like today and lie on your show, my brother. That sounds like the people I can't talk about that. That's tomorrow. But,
Yeah. Well,
so
but
I just had to
I
correct
gotta
those
say
2
this
things.
though, bro. I appreciate a good lie.
Yes, and especially an entertaining lie. So I do see some use for him. I would suggest that he sell those lies and some of his suits to Cat Williams, because he would be a good comedy writer with some of the things he calls on here and says.
Oh man. Oh, and that you look, everybody celebrates Cat Williams. I think Cat Williams is one of the biggest haters around.
Definitely.
I really, I mean,
yeah.
That's cool. You was at, but some things you just don't talk about, right?
Exactly.
So, and I think he's riding on everybody. I think he's a hater. People love his comedy. I loved him as Money Mike, but I mean, the choir director and what was that? Sundays, was it Sundays? What was the movie with Ice Cube and Tracy? First Sunday. He was great as the choir director. He was the choir director. He's a hater, man.
And to Meech's credit, I mean, the all she needed was a quickie is a great sermon, man. But sometimes you should know when to shut up and know when you're not correct. The majority of black people are not naive. About 8% that the Republican Party has been able to count on, 6 to 8%, of descendants of slave catchers forever. And, I always pray for him that he'll step outside of that.
That 8% reminds me of a quote back in the 80s from Art Buchwald, who was a writer for the Washington Post. And he said, why wouldn't you want to be a black Republican? He said, because when you're a black Republican, you might be the only black person in the room. Everybody paying attention to you. He said, if you're a Democrat, you're in a room with all these other black folks. So these folks up here. And look, Jesus asked this question: what profits a man to sell his soul to gain the whole world. There are people who are willing to sell their souls. So, you know, and then like we always ask the question, what's your price? What's my price?
Yes.
You know, and people just hadn't hit the magic number yet, but they can hit the magic number, and you be going like, okay.
Or would you be saying, Keith, more likely the gentleman that's in the room that you're in, and myself, would you be the spook that sat by the door who pretended to say okay, but in the end had a long range end game? And I don't see our brother Meech as being that bright to have a long range end game. He's been waiting for a seat at the table for a long time. There's not one black person in the cabinet of the dude he bagged. Kids are getting zip tied an hour in Chicago, an hour away from here, and he still is a member of that cult. So I will continue to pray for our dear brother, and hope he, you know, like I said, he does take his talent and goes big time. You know, with some of the comedic things he had done. Yes, take his talent to South Beach. That's a good lead into the basketball thing tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, but there's haters out there, man.
Can we also? I want to ask Jermaine. Can we also discuss AJ Green's scoring average?
Come on, D. Man, you get on my good side, man. Hey, now,
the greatest player ever to wear number 20.
Now,
the greatest player ever to wear number 20.
I do have to say,
greater than Gary Payton.
Is he?
No, man. but
did you hear Paul? He was like,
but I do have to say, I am glad, and they should have did this, that they got AJ coming off the bench and not starting, because he's not a starting 2 or 3 in the NBA.
Is Cam Thomas starting now?
No, they got Usman Ding starting at the 2. So they going long and tall.
Okay.
So they got.
I don't know why they doing anything. Tank.
Well,
They should have been tanking 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Tank.
But they are. If it ends today, even with them making the play-in, they will still have a top 10 pick. So which is cool.
Right.
And this is a good draft this year.
Yeah, so
it's a real good draft. That kid from, I cannot pronounce his name, I think from Illinois.
Kansas.
Yeah,
no,
that's
from Illinois.
That's
the freshman,
the point guard, the shooting guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's nice.
Yeah, wasn't he Big Ten Player of the Year?
Yeah, but he only 6'4".
He can score.
So
he's a scorer.
He's a scorer.
He's a scorer.
So yeah. So having somebody who
Not
can
an
score,
inbounder, huh?
no, not an inbound, but having some. Joe Wolf is the greatest inbounder.
No, not Joe Wolf.
No,
Ingles.
You
ain't got that. See,
the greatest inbounder.
See, and this. Oh man, this. I keep telling y'all, there's a bias there, brothers. There's a bias there. Is it just me? Is it just me? God. There's nobody who pulls his warm-up pants off like this guy. When did that become a stat?
Keith, Joe Wolf graduated the same year and played in the state tournament, which is coming up soon, as Wilbur Roundtree.
Yep.
If you're starting a team, who you picking?
I knew Wilbur. I'm gonna go with Joe Wolf. Joe Wolf had a great career. He was good. I understand why he went to North Carolina. But I think his size, I think, Wilbur was able to do a whole lot with what he had. But, back in the day when you pick a team, what's the first thing you pick for?
Height.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe Wolf had a good career, though, man. He did well at North Carolina, had a solid pro career. So
Wilbur scored 53 points in about 26 minutes, but it was against Pulaski. So I guess it's similar to what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Ooh. Oh, you Pulaski. Oh, you 26 Oklahoma people. All right, let me.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I got to wrap up.
Oh, do you? You take this one call?
Go ahead, man. Take your call.
Okay, caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hi, Keith.
Hi.
So, first of all, listen. When Meech learns how to say the word ambulance properly instead of ambulance, then maybe we can start taking him just a sliver bit more serious. But he needs to learn how to speak proper English. Thank you.
Ambulance car.
Right.
Everybody ride in the ambulance car.
The ambulance.
The ambulance car. Dude, it's a
And
song on
please,
Facebook.
please do not use library. Library drives me nuts. There's an R there.
Library.
Library. I'm not gonna get into desk and ask
or screek.
Or screek. Shout out to my late Fred Elwood Moreland. Placed my feet on Screet, gave me the script to fight. He's done great things.
Oh man.
How could you not do that song and do that with the Sopranos? Do that? Ooh,
He's done great things.
ooh, ooh, ooh. You gotta oh, the community choir, man, when they used to rock that one. Oh man.
I used to hate that though. Like, what would possess you to hit that high note?
Yeah, soprano. That's what they supposed to do.
Little Richard. Well, why?
No, I mean it was just like
shut
but
up.
I love
Watley used to hit them notes, didn't he?
Who?
Watley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas could hit those.
Yeah.
Thomas always wanted to be an alto. He always wanted to be an alto. So he would sit there like, dude, we need some help over here in the tenor section. I mean, the altos are doing okay. He always wanted to be.
Shut up.
Who was that told him that? Frank Johnson? Shut up.
Shut up.
And he get up there, I'm going like, hey, man. But you know what? Back in the day, Fellowship came to Metropolitan. The Perkins family and Clay Evans grew up together.
Oh.
And so they brought Fellowship. Fellowship had, now we're at Metropolitan. Fellowship took up the entire choir stand. You know how big that choir stand is?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, took up the whole choir stand. Wow. They had this dude, I'm telling you, he was hitting some notes, and you went like, wow. He was like a true, I guess that's falsetto for men, right? I don't know if you could be a male soprano. But man, he was carrying the soprano section.
Yeah, well,
because Fred White could do it too.
Oh, Fred could hit those notes. But you know,
but that's not falsetto,
Philip Bailey.
though. But that's not falsetto. Falsetto is when you know, almost as if you put a cover on your note and it's not as heavy and as if you said, oh, and then you say, oh, that's falsetto. But if you can actually push it and hit it, that's not.
But actually, wouldn't that almost be tenor?
That'd be third tenor. Well, is it first tenor?
First tenor.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Breaking news.
What?
School shooting.
What? Really?
Ooh, okay.
Old Dominion University.
ODU?
2 are injured and gunman is dead after shooting at Virginia school.
Lord have mercy.
Wow.
So before we go, man, do you think some of the stuff is related to mental illness, or do you think this is just it's just an evil day and evil
It's
time?
like Nikki Giovanni just happened to be teaching at Virginia Tech when the dude went in. That's the greatest, you know?
Yeah.
And this dude's, he changed his name to question mark. Oh, wow. You don't tell me
guys, we got to
that-
wrap.
Yep.
We got to wrap.
You're listening to. Let me thank everybody. Debo, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Callers, we thank you. The good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.